Hey, what's going on? So I'm hoping that today's video will be a little bit better than the last one. So I adjusted where my computer sits because I realized that it was actually blocking a considerable amount of the screen. Also trying to figure out how to lower the mic gain a little bit, because this mic is at +0 dB. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of, turn the mic down a little bit, because it's definitely clipping a lot. I can just see on the meter that shows up on the screen that it's clipping like crazy. That is something I will have to sort out if possible. If not, I'll just have to maybe find a different microphone than this Ceremonic, something that's not as hot. Surprisingly, the microphone is not amplified or anything, it's just a microphone to a USB-C. No adapters, just which I did see that Ceremonic has a wireless microphone, which I've been knowing that, but it looks like their Blink series of microphones, like they're kind of, I guess, trying to get into the small form factor microphones now, which is cool. I guess definitely a very bug-filled night. Kind of, as much as I want wireless for the microphone, I do realize extra work and extra stuff to keep an eye on, because if you can see the screen, I thought I charged my battery last ride, and I basically started this ride with 50% battery on my headlight, so go me. As I said, really thought I charged it after my last ride, but I also thought I had depleted my battery after the last ride, so guess not. Which is a good thing. This headlight, unlike the Giant brand, not Giant size, many different sensors and stuff as you can get. And if I mention it, I'll mention it twice. Because I did figure out that it is something that does exist somewhat. So I was thinking they really should have, someone should make for something that will integrate with Garmin or Wahoo or your other cycling computer companies, would be a form of TPMS. And if you're unsure what that is, tire pressure monitoring. Although I believe by now most everybody knows what a TPMS is, as most cars, I believe, have it. And if I'm not mistaken, it might even be mandated by now. And I understand it wouldn't be something that would catch on with professional riders and stuff, because if they're trying to save every gram of weight that they can, obviously extra sensors. If you're in a competition, I'm not certain, but I'd be willing to bet that having anything extra on that bike that isn't necessary, and by necessary I mean either required for the operation of the bike or required equipment for whatever governing body is over that that event. But, and as I said, it is something that does exist. Basically, I found them for motorcycles. I mean, they do make them for cars too as well, trailers, stuff like that, RVs, where you can get them with, you know, a bunch of sensors. Obviously, you need a sensor per tire, so, but they do make them for motorcycles. And what I like about those is it comes with 2 transmitters and a rechargeable receiver. Now, as much as I think that's cool and it would accomplish what I need, I wish it was integrated with my computer. And then I started looking at ones that use some kind of app on the phone, thinking, you know, hey, I would even be cool with getting a on my phone, say, have my tire pressure set to a certain what I want, but you know, I'm okay with, you know, I think I run my tires like 50 something, 54 or 56, somewhere in there. So I could basically program, you know, what I would want, where you'd be able to program my tire pressure at, say, 55 psi, and I don't want to go any lower than 45. You know, we'll give it 10 psi range, and at 45 psi, it'll send me a message, time to air up the tires. And I noticed that every few weeks I basically need to air my tires up. And it's one of those things that, while I can easily tell, you know, when I take the bike out, you know, you can push on the tire, bounce the tire, or whatever, and you can tell how much, well, I mean, you can get an idea of how much pressure you have in your tire. Kind of thought behind it is not really, I guess the target audience would be people that, you know, aren't as physically able. You know, maybe they have a trike or something like that, and, you know, or for elderly people with hand dexterity issues that maybe they don't put air in their tires themselves. They have a relative that comes over, and they could have those sensors on the tires, and, you know, whatever triggers them, it could send it to an app, and then you could almost have it to where, you know, it could, especially like, say, Garmin, they could add it could have something that auto sends the information to a relative, kind of like with the live track and everything else, where whenever they're riding, it senses the tire pressure and it'll send a notification. We implemented with the live track system that, you know, they get that email and it sends the tire pressure. Now, obviously, yeah, it would kind of be for someone who's more frequently riding, so I wouldn't get data in between rides, but I would get tire data, so I can see, okay, well, you know what, the tires are starting to get a little low, let's go ahead and air them up before the next ride or something. I don't know, I think it would be something that could be integrated And you can use your imagination for other uses for it. And I get it. Why not just check the tires manually? Why not do that? Well, you know, years ago, if someone would have told you, hey, you're gonna have this thing on your wrist that can do everything your phone can do, and you're not even gonna need to pull your phone out of your pocket to reply to a message or answer a phone call or whatever, you'd probably have said, now look at everybody's wrist. Most everybody's wrist. Most everybody has a smartwatch of some type. So, I mean, how many people with the more modern or the more advanced TPMS systems on their vehicle probably don't even actually, other than when they're airing their tires up, don't actually check manual gauge. You just rely on that information on your dash, click a couple buttons, and see the PSI of your tires. You know, so if you'd have told me 15, 20 years ago that we would have that, you know, it'd have been like, yeah, something kind of cool, but I don't see what the need is. Well, same with backup cameras, same with a lot of stuff that's went from being a luxury item on things, you know, or only the highest trim or the highest option package, or, you know, the local car stereo shop could add that to a vehicle. You know, remote start. When I started driving, didn't think I'd have bug issues on the way back. You know, when I started driving, remote start wasn't even a thing. Oof. Now, I think it's almost factory on everything. Push button start. I apologize for the spitting, but I had to get rid of that bug. But definitely think it's something that'll eventually exist, maybe. As I said, I mean, it exists for motorcycles, so it might come to be for bicycles too. I mean, they had somebody in a cycling group the other day online. It was like, you know, how important is it to have a heart rate monitor when cycling? You know, the simple fact of it is, you know, unless you have a medical condition, or really, unless you have your doctor telling you, you know, hey, when you exercise or do anything other than these activities, you should monitor your heart rate and stuff. You know, unless there's that case, even if you're training, you know, it's just extra data that you're recording, that you're monitoring and tracking. That, is it useful? Yeah. Is it absolutely necessary? No. But if your doctor wants it monitored, then I would say it's necessary. But I mean, it's like when I ride, I have a heart rate monitor on. It's just one extra over piece of data. You know, I can look at my ride and, hey, is my heart rate, am I in the fat burn zone? Am I in the whatever zone? You know, do I know what any of those numbers are? No. If I see something and I'm reading and someone's like, oh, you know, 120 to 130 is fat burn zone. I guess that's fat burn zone. But can I tell you with certainty, what it is, what it means? No. Is it another point of data to geek out over when I look at my stats after my ride? Of course. I mean, doing stuff on my bike, other than riding it, but doing stuff, well, I guess besides riding it and maintenance, it's all just part of the hobby to me. I didn't need to change anything from when I bought it, but I wanted to improve the ride. I wanted to have suspension I could control. I wanted the gearing to be what I had learned to be what I want. Unfortunately, when I set it up, the ideal chainring size that I wanted, I wasn't able to run because, frankly, the frame wouldn't allow. So, but I think I ended up with the ideal gear range on the little bit of climbs that I do. I have more low end than I need, which is good. And I haven't really needed to top out what it can do. I have, but I can't do it and maintain my cadence, my pedaling speed. So I just, as I said, I kind of feel like I am in the sweet spot with my drivetrain. Now, the next bike I build or buy, I probably will try and get something set up exactly how I want it. Have it to where my low end is right at what I need or a little bit more. So I don't need to be in, if I do a 1x11 again, well, like say I'll be in like the third gear or so on most climbs here, and basically have it to where I have that is my lowest, have the third gear be what my current needed ratio is to climb, which is probably my third gear. Or it might not be, actually. I think it might be a little. I really do need to sort out my drivetrain issue. I think that derailleur hanger is bent again because I get a weird kind of clicking. Or something's not right. I'm also thinking chain stretch, but when I measured it, I think it was okay. So, and it's like basically like a click that I feel in the same part of the pedal stroke. And is there whether I'm pedaling lightly. Actually, if I'm pedaling lightly, it's not there. And there's a load on the drivetrain. So I may have to sort that one out. I know I'm going to have to sort that one out because it's eventually going to cause a problem. And I really think it's going to be that derailleur hanger. Because I don't see anything loose. Everything on the drivetrain, I've tried to see what's loose, but I couldn't see anything, so but it very well could be something that's bent. If I think about it when I finish the ride, I'll probably check, and just try and check a few things before I put the bike up. And I ate another bug. Kind of went through a little bit of task overload there. I was too busy thinking about the gear and not about what I needed to do next. And the thing is, when you're coming down this, at least for me, I don't like taking this down with a lot of speed. Wasn't trying to do that. I just wasn't at the angle I wanted to be. Yep. But anyway, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down here, and next video will be hopefully saying what I figured out was wrong. I'm not a fan of this issue, so we'll see. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one.